Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Growth Path. Today I am joined by somebody that I've been doing work with for now a couple of years at this point. Kinga, we've been working together like it seems like forever actually, but it's probably been the past 2 or 3 years. And Kinga's my go-to when it comes to all things SEO, content related. King is the owner or the creative owner of Brainy Bees, which is a SaaS content marketing and PR agency, which works for clients all across the world. Some very large names in that client base as well, that maybe we can talk about in a little bit as well, which would be great. And also some of the customers that we work with at Purple Path are also customers of Kinga and Brainy Bees. So like we fish out of the same pond is probably the best way to describe it. King is also the city leader at SaaS Krakow and is going to be speaking next month to Sastanak in Croatia next month. So I'm interested in learning more about that. She's also an expert content marketing, link building, all things SEO, as I mentioned before. And as I've been working with Kinga for a number of years now, I can safely say that she approaches business with the belief that kindness in business is no longer optional, but is definitely 100% important. And following the trends is no longer enough. You need to stay on top of them. So, Kinga, welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot for having me. It's basically, as you said, like I'm all over the place. That's how it sounds from Kinga, the introduction.
You're probably like the busiest person I've ever met. Is probably the best way to describe it, right?
Well, I don't know how many people we've met. I'm probably in the top of that.
So a lot. How many customers are you currently working with?
So we have more than 50 SaaS projects. They are not all of them. They are not on the same scope. Let's say for some of the clients we deliver packages. For some of the clients we just deliver some one-off projects from time to time. But it's more than 50 in general. It's either SaaS projects, like we work directly with SaaS companies, or we work for all the agencies, mainly in the US and in Canada. A couple of them are in the UK right now as well, where they just outsource their link building department or content marketing activities just to us. So we provide a lot of white label these days as well.
And out of 50, how many of those companies are you personally working with?
So it's 22.
20, right. Jesus Christ, man. Like,
I mean, as a company, right? It's like 22. It's not like I'm on meetings with 22 companies daily. It's more like 22 of them are SaaS companies that we work directly as Brainy Bees. 28 are SaaS companies we work through other agencies with. But with all of those clients, I do have contact with. It's not like I just outsource it to someone in my team and I ask once a month, like, hey, how's it going? Do we still have this client or not? So whoever is working with me knows that I work very, very closely with the clients, which can be surprising to some. I find time for it, but I feel like this is needed now. It's required, and this is my standard. I don't want to just fall at some point. So
I understand that. Like I'm similar. I want to be I try to be involved with all of the different clients, and they try to pull me in every single meeting, etc. Right? Like this is the thing. The client's always going to come to me. Always going to come to me. I need this and I need that, and they don't want to talk to somebody else in the team. They want to talk to me, and like I guess you get the same, right?
It has its pros and cons, right? Like you're always in a loop. You don't have to rely on other people, like getting some info. Like you're always in a loop. For me, it's like the game changer was to put some sort of boundary on meetings. For me, if something doesn't have to be a meeting, let's not be a meeting. As I get a lot of async video notes or audio notes or some just Slack messages, and it seems to be working better with some of our clients, especially also in terms of time zone differences. Working with like US clients or clients in Australia, you will always have that. There's not a chance we're going to have these meetings, and I no longer can take calls at 5 a.m. as I did a couple of years ago. So it has pros and cons. Obviously, con is that you are pulled, as you said, you're pulled by the clients. They reach to you, even if they're like other people in the process. But on the other hand, you are always up to date with what's happening, and you can be very agile, knowing all of it.
There was a time when I was working with you a year and a half ago or so, and we did a workshop together in Slovakia, if you remember. We were working on a website together. And you were like, oh, I need to get up at 4 a.m. because I need to go speak with these guys in Australia. And then I think you slept like 3 hours the night before because you traveled all the way down from Poland on a bus or whatever. Like just like, how are you managing all of that? Are you like? It sounds as though that you've changed things. You don't do that anymore, right?
Yeah, I'm trying not to do it unless I really, really have to. But I had to learn to say no, and I had to learn to say that, to the client, that not just blindly agree to everything. It's just, hey, well, how about we do it other way that may be more convenient for me? Probably it's not going to make a difference to you. So yeah, I was like this maybe like 2 years ago. And then it's like, it's only that much you can take. and you can't wake up at 4 a.m. for a call and then go to sleep at like 2 a.m. because you have a call with someone from the US. So you had to learn to push some boundaries. And it's been working. So it also doesn't mean that I'm kind of a picky one and just saying, hey, client, I'm not going to meet you because whatever. It's like, no, obviously that works for the client's convenience as well.
But you're putting it more on your terms as well, which is fine. Like I'm similar to you as well. I've had to learn that as well, where it's not like you don't need to say yes to everything.
Exactly.
And you can have a discussion about something and say, you know what, like, let's do it this way because I don't fully agree that the way that you propose is going to work.
As a business, you have to learn it, because in the past, a couple of years ago, if you're just starting, you just don't want to disagree with someone who's paying you, right? You just feel like, well, they are paying you. They have all the rights to have you execute something they want. But then it's like you get some confidence over the way. And also that as much as I love our clients, they sometimes have some ideas that, well, they just have to be challenged, right? We can't just agree on everything. Like, I'm not even talking about meetings or anything like that, but it's more like those current ideas just coming every single day. It's like you have to learn to say no. It's like, this is like, I don't have a problem to tell my clients that idea is stupid. I don't have a problem. I would have had a problem, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, because, well, that's a client, you can't really say it. But now it's like, I'm just saying it straight away. And in the majority of cases, they appreciate it. I mean, they always appreciate it. They may not say that they appreciate it, but they appreciate another point of view that someone's going to tell them, like someone's going to challenge them, not just execute anything blindly. So that's not the way to go.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's one of the things that clients that I see from my side, they appreciate. Like, I'm not afraid of getting caught up in political bullshit or anything like that some people might be internally. So they're trying to like toe the company line and trying to keep everybody happy. I'd rather like keep people unhappy and do the right thing than like bite my tongue and do the wrong thing or do the thing that I don't really believe is going to work just to keep somebody happy. Yeah, which I've done in full-time positions, right?
Yeah, that's like, that's also something that I feel like a business has to learn how to approach, because you don't want to upset someone, right? And if in the past I would be like, oh, I'm not going to say this, or I'm going to do as they want me to. I didn't really think about, I don't really agree on it or something like that. I was just, okay, well, that's the order. That's what we are paid for. That's what I have to do. And now I think the things change so drastically. You need to have someone to challenge your ideas with. Otherwise, like, you're just gonna get overwhelmed with ideas and everything you see on LinkedIn and all that. So,
Jesus Christ! Like the classic CEO. I read a book over the weekend. We need to change our business strategy. Oh God, if I ever hear that again, like, that's happened to me so many times in my career. I read this book last weekend. Quickly change everything we're doing. I'm like, fucking hell. Anyway. Let's get into SEO. So SEO is one of those things that, let's talk about from like a senior leadership position and people that don't really understand it. They're like a CEO will come to me and go, "We're doing SEO, aren't we?" Like, how does let's start with that question, Kinga. How does one do SEO?
Oh, that's a great question. I would love to answer this because, well, I could have answered this, a year ago with some sort of framework, with some sort of blueprint. You have to do this. Now things change. The way people use search engines change. The way the information is provided and distributed in a search engine, that changes. As Ahrefs a week ago, they published a study that being an AI overview, so those overviews actually generated by Google in Google search engine. If you are in this AI overview, you shouldn't be massively happy, even though you're in top in Google, because Ahrefs showed that those positions actually provide you 35% fewer clicks to your website. So it's not like you're in the top and you're just getting best of it. It's like the things change. And I would say if you've been doing SEO for a while, first you have to adjust a little. Second, you don't have as much to worry about as those people who are only just starting with SEO. So now I'm very often just stumble upon some briefs we're getting, some requests for working together we're getting, and I'm just saying, no, that's not going to work. Like you are 3 years too late. And obviously I can be one of those agencies just charging you every single month and then just kind of shrugging in 6 months like, oh, sorry, it didn't work. But I prefer just saying straight away that it's not going to work. So SEO is not a quick game any longer. It's not a cheap game any longer. It requires a lot of understanding, not only understanding of like SEO and technicalities, but also the fact that it may take longer to bring you any results or none. But you have to do it if you actually want to be in the future of how people are going to search for information, because good SEO presence guarantees you, I wouldn't say guarantees you, that's not a good word, but brings you a bit closer to success in AI search. So, like GPT search and so on. When you look for some tools and you would ask now GPT, what you would see, you would obviously see the tools that are doing really well in Google. You won't see your amazing tool that you're writing about every day or posting on LinkedIn about. No, you would see all those tools with the authority. So the principle didn't massively change. It's just the speed that matters now and agility in strategies. You don't create strategies for 6 months ahead. You create one for like 1 month, 2 months, and then you just optimize it all the time. So we actually have a lot of things to do as SEO people these days.
Okay, so SEO people are getting more and more busy actually. So it's about refining the strategy. How often are you doing that? What's your cadence in refining strategies at the moment?
Yeah, so for some clients, it's literally weekly. So it's weekly, it's bi-weekly. It also depends how quick the client is on the other side. Like I'm not going to adjust the strategy every single week if I know that it's not going to be executed or it's not going to be reviewed, it's not going to be looked into. So I'm trying to adjust it to every single client, which is also, time consuming. Because I would like to have this cadence, like I sit on Fridays and I just go through strategies. Obviously, when we see some opportunities, we just hop on those. But sometimes, you know how it is with SaaS companies. There's like approval process or approval process or approval process. And by the time you get some approval for something, it's no longer relevant, no longer valid, and 10 of your competitors already covered it. So
what are you basing those adjustments on? So like the reason why I ask like that, because if you're making updates on a weekly basis, like SEO a year ago, just to go back to that, SEO a year ago is you'd put a specific strategy in place and try to see that run for months before you maybe start to see a specific outcome. Now you're telling me that maybe you need to adjust your strategy every single week. Like, what are you basing that off of? Because in the past, it used to be like, you can't just make changes now because you haven't seen any impact yet about the things that you've implemented.
Like well, in the past, your competitors didn't have access to, for example, tools like GPT and so on. Like now, everyone has access to it. So creating content, I'm not talking about the quality of content, but creating content per se takes seconds if you wanted to, right? Then you have some tools like make.com or Zapier, and then your competitor can just pull overnight, out of nowhere, 100 new pieces of content, 200 pieces of content, and like 10 of them, for example, target you, while your tool is not the best alternative to their tool. And so obviously you have to answer to this with your content. So it's kind of a rat race. And we're super busy because part of the SEO process now, and SEO, I would say, management for the client is something that didn't exist a couple of years ago, definitely didn't exist a year ago. And it's now, honestly, a good chunk of my week, maybe not every day, but week, is, talking to our clients, like why it works like this, why we have to do it, why this AI is this or that, answering to their messages, just sending me something from LinkedIn. It's like, hey, Kinga, can we do the same? Can we do the same? It's like, now, this message from LinkedIn is from a SaaS company that is 30 times bigger than yours. And they have, those processes and operations and people and workforce and everything and authority. And we're not going to just do one-to-one copy of it. So it's a lot of SEO management, I would say, Q&A. It's every single day, you are on LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. You can honestly feel very down being on LinkedIn for, I don't know, half an hour or an hour, just reading about success of people like, oh yeah, we've done this and that and that and that and SEO and SEO. It's like, it's easy to feel bad about this. But okay, well, we do the work, we deliver the results, but well, we didn't grow something by like 600% in a week. So, but then your client can see it and they send it to you. It's like, hey, Kinga, we want the same. And then it's on you to just tell them, hey, this is not an excuse, but we're not going to do it because this and this and this. So thank you, LinkedIn.
Stop making excuses, Kinga. Come on. So like, it's like, that's the classic. Just let's make sure that we go viral. You know, like that's the let's make a viral video. Like, well, the chances of it going viral are probably 0.01%. But okay, let's give it a shot. But so you mentioned something there just around like AI and using ChatGPT, for example, to create hundreds of pieces of content within minutes. Is that okay to do? I'm hearing various opinions on this. People are telling me, oh, you shouldn't do it. Google's going to punish you for it. Other people are like, well, we can create a lot of content very quickly and get stuff out there, and it targets our competitors, as you say, and it works. So tell me, what you're at the coal face. Like, what's your view on this?
I would say I have nothing against AI as long as it brings value. I don't think that pulling 200 articles overnight brings any value to the reader. And I think that Google sees that now, because obviously we have a couple of internal sites here at my agency because we test strategies. If something actually sticks, we're going to recommend it further because we have this kind of case study internally. It's like, hey, we've done this. How about we do that here and here? But I've seen a lot of pages, a lot of sites that basically disappeared overnight. Some of them were side projects of our clients, for example, before they started working with us. And that was something that was done into 2023. And we are still cleaning the mess after that because there were like a lot of language versions, a lot of some very, very thin content pages. It's very hard for Google to forget what was on that page once. But we had a case with our internal site last year. We built a site. I can admit it. It's not a problem. It's just my internal site and experiment. We're pulling a lot of AI content without a lot of governance on it. We reached the point we got 70,000 traffic a month. 70,000. We were higher than Hootsuite. We were higher than Buffer, HubSpot, all those. Like, my experimental page that looked like something built in 10 minutes. It got traffic. It got us a lot of money internally last year. Like a lot of money. I'm talking like thousands of dollars. And it sank on a Christmas day. So there was a December update coming from Google. And that was brutal. That was probably one of the most brutal, let's call it, updates in the whole history of Google. And we just saw that it was going from 70,000 to 50,000 to 30,000 to 10,000. And then I think today's maybe the traffic's maybe 200, not 200,000, just 200, 200. But we deserved it. I mean, there was absolutely zero value. It did last for some time. It brought us money. I should be happy. I had this experiment, but this is like, I saw firsthand that it's not worth it long term. If you just want to experiment, if you want to test some strategies, just don't do it on your domain. Don't do it on your page. Don't do it for your SaaS. Test it first and then maybe try to link from that site to yours. Try to test your strategies outside your main playground, or you can be badly hit. There's one SaaS that was badly hit earlier last week, I think. And obviously HubSpot lost like 80% of their traffic. They still have a lot of traffic left, but they in December, HubSpot, even that big of a SaaS, they lost 80% of their traffic. So Google is not just choosing big ones or small ones.
But did they lose the traffic? Did Google though crack down on thin content, or was it AI generated content?
So that was, I would say, that was a mix between thin content that was working for ages, it had been working for ages for them. But I think there's some parts of it were also AI generated. We can't really tell these days. If you have something that's nicely prompted and structured, it's not that easy to tell for someone who is not into content if this is AI generated. Some of those are structures are pretty generic. You can tell, I can tell 100% even if someone tries to edit it, because I edit a lot of content daily. So I'm super, super biased and sensitive to that. But if someone doesn't do it on a daily basis, it's not that easy to tell if it's AI generated or not. And even Google would have a problem to say if it's AI generated or not, because when I told you about our site that had the 70K, it was actually created same time as 9 other sites. So we had an experiment of 10 sites, and they all had the content published very, very similar way. And only that site grew, and the rest were tanking on 100 traffic. So we used the same workflow. Yeah, we used the same workflow. Just Google thought, well, how about we just classify those pages are low quality because of AI or just low quality? While for the 70K traffic page, we couldn't believe our eyes. We absolutely broke the bank. So.
But so there's no method to the madness. Basically, you just got lucky with that one site and unlucky with the other one.
Yeah, and it's not a pattern. It's not like I always publish on Monday or whatever. No, it was just pure luck, and it just shows me that SEO, and a huge chunk of it is just pure luck. Obviously, authority. Obviously, what we can see now also on business-wise, link building. It's super important because you can't really get links in ChatGPT. You can't generate yourself links, right? You have to get links, and that's a problematic part. That's why we have a lot of orders now for link building. But content wise is a roulette. That's why I would always recommend just speeding things up in your departments, in your companies, and just trying to ship things as quickly as possible. Just don't put them on hold. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Just ship it and optimize on the go.
So is it to go back to the AI generated content? I think 90% of all content that's created nowadays is probably generated initially by AI, and then as you said, edited by a content writer in a lot of the times, or a lot of the times it's just published. Is it still okay to, in your opinion, to as a content writer, to get something AI generated as inspiration and then rewrite that and then use that as a way to publish more content more regularly?
It depends, because sometimes actually editing and correcting AI content takes me longer than myself writing it from scratch. So I would say it's better to always have some sort of material, some sort of brief outline you can work on, and then yes, you can use AI to get you some extra insights to it. But it's still, end of the day, it's your insight, it's your fact checking, because that's something that AI massively struggles with. It hallucinates, so you have to be aware that, well, if you're just publishing something with stats, you're not checking on it, then you're kind of just spamming the internet with something that doesn't exist. So it's okay to use AI. I encourage my team to use AI, but they know that my standards for editing are high to the point that they can't really submit me something. Just control, copy it and paste it from GPT. So I would say editing standards are something that can still save content agencies, I would say. Many of them, I think, choked on GPT a couple of months ago, and they were just delivering also to some of our clients if we were working with other agencies in the process. And then you can see that this agency just delivered something that starts with in today's digital world or today's digital landscape. And I'm like, gosh, at least you could have edited that intro, because then it's you can see straight away it's just control paste, copy paste it to the client pays for it, they don't really check it or something, and that doesn't really help anyone apart from that agency who charges for it. So
I know what you mean. Hey, look, we're just after coming up on time, Kinga. Where can people find you?
So people can find me on LinkedIn. I think that's the easiest way, Kinga Edwards. If you have any other questions or any more questions, anything that bothers you in terms of SEO, just let me know. I'm always happy to help for free. I'm not going to charge for replying to your LinkedIn message. So feel free.
Perfect. Thanks, Kinga. We're going to make sure you're shared in the description of this episode. Kinga, thanks a million. It's been a great pleasure having you on, and I look forward to speaking with you again in the near future.
Thank you very much, Andy. Thanks, everyone. Hope you enjoyed.
Sure. Guys, this has been another episode of Growth Path. Tune in again next week for more great content. Thanks, Kinga.
Thank you.